male voices. That would be, of course, Madonna, Jennifer Lopez, Leonardo DiCaprio. People who couldn't find their way unaided to El Segundo have discovered the Amazon rainforest, where it turns out fires sometimes break out. They say the Amazon rainforest is being destroyed, not by clear-cutting committed by China. No, criticizing China is racist, but because of Bolsonaro or something? Anyway, the earth is in the balance. We asked Bolsonaro about that. Is the Amazon being destroyed at the rate that we read that it is?
Não. Não é verdadeiro isso.
No, that is not true. 2/3 of the Brazilian territory are currently preserved and remain pristine, just as they were back in the 1500s, when this country was discovered by the Portuguese. The criminal acts that do happen, we will not deny that, are ultimately given too much visibility because there is a huge interest in making our sovereignty over the Amazonian region a relative fact or perceived in a relative light. I met with President Putin and thanked him because on 2 occasions when this issue was discussed with other countries, he stated that the Amazon region belongs to the Brazilian people, not to anyone else. The Amazon region is as vast as Eastern Europe. It's huge. It's wonderful. It's just not possible to, take care of every square meter in the Amazon region. There is illegal deforestation, yes. There are fire outbreaks, yes, but not at the rate that is announced out there. California itself always, catches fire, and it's not given that much visibility. French Guiana, likewise, you can't possibly set a rainforest afire, but there is illegal deforestation, yes, and we are working to tackle that. And how can we solve the issue? Well, it depends on the Brazilian parliament. It depends on land regularization. And we need the legislation to be passed to that effect. In the future, any heat focus directed by a satellite will point to the ultimate owner of that land. Where you seem to have a focus of fire or a fire outbreak beginning, you will be able to know whether it belongs to the federal administration or to a private owner or to the riverside people. Sometimes the riverside populations set fields afire for agricultural or cropping purposes, and that technology will certainly help us prevent any kind of deforestation. The Amazon region is as vast as Eastern Europe. It is not easy to take care of. The Yanomami Indigenous Reserve itself is as big as twice the territory of the state of Rio de Janeiro, which is a big state. So with technology, we will certainly be able to preserve the Amazonian region. We do not depend on international interests in preserving the Amazonian region. It is our own interests, and we, of course, want these preservation efforts to be somehow reciprocated by means of carbon credits.
You are opposed by most actors in Brazil and celebrities, models, TV presenters, and we learned recently that Mark Ruffalo also doesn't like you. You don't seem bothered at all by this. Why?
Well, if I do bother or become concerned about all of the criticism I get, I would not be able to work. Of course, no one likes to be criticized, but these are people who do not understand anything about Brazil. I think these people have never been to the Amazon region, and I would actually invite them to come to the Amazon region and overfly the region. And they will see an outstanding region. They will be able to overfly it. You will see no fire outbreak. You will not see the devastated areas. They talk about the Amazon region because it's trendy. It's a fad. In Europe, if someone says that the Amazon region is not being devastated, they are politically doomed to fiasco. So it's politically good for them. The criticism yields power, yields media visibility, yields votes, and that's what celebrities feed on. They're not at all familiar with the Amazon region. They are not at all knowledgeable about the region and the difficulty of investing in it. They just criticize it because it's a fad.
So you don't seem that bothered by Mark Ruffalo's dislike of you. Have you enjoyed being president of Brazil?
I must admit, I first launched myself as a candidate. Of course, I intended to become the president. But I was all too aware of the challenges and difficulties. And the experiences we have undergone, or I have undergone, I could never, ever have imagined what it would look like. But I am comforted by the fact that the other candidate, the Workers' Party candidate, Haddad, if he had won, Brazil would certainly be what Venezuela is today. So that's a source of comfort to me. And that encourages me to say to the population that God is the one who has placed me where I am today.
Mr. President, thank you for having us.
You're welcome. A message to the Americans: God, the homeland, family, and freedom. Thank you so much.
The main reason we came to Brazil was to report on what China is doing, something that's being ignored on purpose in the United States. China is working hard to turn the developing world into a new colony, a colony of China. And that's particularly true in Brazil, the country with the richest natural resources in the region. Brazil, a military beachhead for China? It's of concern. We asked Bolsonaro about that and what he's doing to stop it. Next.